Hello there, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to SOG Tonight. I am your host, Eric Holzman. As you can see, I am solo right now. My partner in crime, Peter Vera, could not make it tonight. He is working he works at Madison Square Garden, and he was just, I was just watching the Knick game that he's actually working. So shout out to Pete, of course. You're going to be missed tonight, brother, but I know you have bills to pay, and that's more important right now. So, you'll be missed. So today happens to be National Superhero Day. And since we're in this space, I did not want this day to pass without us doing something to honor the superheroes, not just the superheroes, the fictional ones that we all love in this space, but also the superheroes that you may have in your own life, whether they be a family member, it could be a police officer, a teacher maybe you had in your life. So we're going to try and discuss all of that tonight. I am not going to do it alone, though. I have gathered a host of people faces that you know and love, and they will be coming on to join me shortly. I will start with a guy you all know from Let's Go, Mr. Chris Evans. Chris,
hey,
what's going on, man?
How's it going?
How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Having some technical difficulties here. There we go. Sorry about that. Forgot to put in my earbuds.
That would help.
Yes, I can hear. All right, man. So what's going on?
Not much. How are you doing?
Good. So thanks for coming on tonight to do this. This is something that I want to have a little fun with. It's one day. I know we love superheroes and we celebrate them almost every day, I think. But it's cool that it's cool that we have an actual day for this. So I wanted to do something, get everyone together. Like I said in the lead-in, unfortunately, Pete could not be here. Mm-hmm. He is working. So that's important. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes,
it is good.
So very, very good news. So we'll be having a few other people join in a little while. The list of people, so they'll be joining us soon. So I'll ask you first then. Sure. The first question I wanted to ask and to start to kick this off is, what do you think makes a superhero? But before you answer, I see someone else is knocking on the door. So I'll bring in Mr. JJ Hodges from 4 Comic Junkies. JJ. Oh,
hey.
And he's wearing our shirt.
I am.
He's representing SOG. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So JJ, thanks again for joining. As I was saying, this is National Superhero Day. It's the day that the world or the nation gets to celebrate superheroes, but I think we do every day in various discussions that we have on Twitter. But it's a pretty cool, and it's not only for fictional superheroes. It's also a day to celebrate our real life superheroes.
Yep.
So I was about to ask Chris this question, and then after Chris answers, you can answer. So Chris, what do you think makes a superhero?
I think first of all, I love this question. This is a really good one. What makes a superhero to me is someone who goes out of their way to do the right thing, even when it's not the easy thing to do. But they know it's right, and that's what they do, and that's why they do it. They don't look for recognition. Hey, there's a cat.
There we go.
There he is.
There's a cat.
Everyone's invited. Everyone's invited.
Or like a pat on the back. It's just because it's the right thing to do.
Okay, that's a good. I agree. I think that's one of the things that makes a superhero. JJ, in your mind, what makes a superhero?
I think it. I would definitely echo that. What Chris said. By the way, this is the first time I'm ever seeing Chris. So hi, Chris. We've talked a few times on Twitter, but I think, it's funny because I saw something online today, like National Superhero Day, where people were the Boys TV show and the Invincible TV show were sharing stuff on Twitter, and I read this op-ed that was these characters are like dark mirrors of Superman, but they don't have, the Man of Steel's heart. And that struck me where it's that's something I think that's great about Superman is that he would be Superman even if he didn't have superpowers. And I've said this on my show a few times, I always thought of Night Owl from Watchmen as being Clark Kent with no superpowers. Just a good guy who wants to do good in the world. And And that's really kind of all it takes to be a hero, really, is to just want to do good in the world, put good out in the world without feeling the need for the recognition or the validation.
Yeah, selflessness, I think, is
Yep.
the one word we can use that to describe what superheroes are in our life, whether it be a fictional one like we all love, like Batman, Superman, obviously,
Right.
but or one a real life one in everyday life. I think you think of like firemen or police
Mhm.
officers or nurses and doctors and people who do these really great things, and it doesn't matter whether it takes up their time or it's just it's a life, it's a calling, it's a that for them that's a calling. And I think that's a one of the things that might get missed sometimes. We take them for granted.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want I don't want that to be the case. I don't think that should be the case. But uh so going quickly, I'm gonna go to the next question, and when everyone else comes in, obviously we'll go back. But I'll go to the next question right now. So most of us, we got to know each other through our mutual love of Batman. I think all of us, whether he's our favorite superhero or our second favorite superhero, I think he's in the top two for most of us. So I want to ask, outside of Batman, who is your favorite superhero? And JJ, you can start.
I think I'd go with Spider-Man. I I grew up on the '94 animated show, and I got really into the comics because of that. And my favorite run of Spider-Man ever is Ultimate Spider-Man by Brian Bendis, um, because there's a reality to Spider-Man that I don't want to say is missing from other heroes, because it's not, but there's something about Spider-Man that the constantly down on his luck, getting kicked around by the world, that I really think everyone can relate to. It's like, everybody says, "Oh, Batman's great because he's just a man." It's like, and I always kind of argue, like, well, that's true, but it also isn't, or else he wouldn't be Batman. Um, and Clark is just a good guy. Superman's just a good guy who wants to do good in the world, which is great. But like, having a superhero that just, he does the right thing, and he still gets the crap kicked out of him, literally and figuratively, I think is something that we can all relate to. And of course, like, Spider-Man's funny. Like, that animated show, I watch it now, it's still funny. Christopher Daniel Barnes, that's who he's my Kevin Conroy in terms of Batman to Spider-Man. Like, that's who I hear when I read a Spider-Man comic book. Because he's funny, and I think that, like, there's jokes on Twitter that's like, so whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's like, well, it didn't. It did make me funnier, though. And that's something I think
Right.
about with Spider-Man. It's like,
Mhm.
like, Spider-Man's hilarious because he, bad crap happens to him, but he can still laugh about it, and he still wants to do good in the world.
That's a very good answer. He's very resilient. He's a very resilient character, I will say. I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
So, someone else is coming in, and he's actually eating dinner. So we're going to join him as he eats dinner, and he's going to share with us, although we can't have any.
Virtual
Mr.
share.
Josh Lagarde.
I have spaghetti. Italians for Spidey would be very proud.
Yes.
It's actually penne pasta with bolognese sauce and sausage.
Oh,
So-
there we go.
It does look delicious.
Does,
Mhm.
man. That's some good looking
Yeah.
stuff right there. So very happy. So, Josh, very quickly, we were going through first couple questions. I sent you guys the rundown. So I asked them what did they think makes a superhero. So I want to ask
Mhm.
you that same question. What do you think makes a superhero?
It's a really interesting question because I've actually been thinking a lot about this lately, and I've been thinking about sort of the with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and sort of the latest attempt to de-Americanize Superman. And I've been thinking a lot about, like, okay, we in the 1940s and 1930s, when we fought the Second World War, the United States of America had Jim Crow. and was treating black people terribly in
Yeah.
in southern states. So what makes us so different? What makes us different than the Nazis? And I think what makes us different than the Nazis is that's not our ideal. That's not like what we want. Like that is, our ideals are different. And what I've been wanting to write about is, acknowledging that different groups in this country have had bad experiences and whatever else, and acknowledging that. But actually, I would like to push back against de-Americanizing Superman, because I actually feel like, despite our flaws, like we strive to do better, we strive to do good, and Superman represents what's best about us. Captain America represents what's best about us. And I think, not to like make my answer so like American centric, but I think that what makes a superhero is not perfection or not like complete goodness, but it's the desire to want to be good and want to do good. And I think that's what makes a compelling superhero. It's what makes a compelling protagonist in any work of fiction. It's like, okay, or conversely, if you're doing a story about a villain, it's like them falling into depravity. It's them fighting against their nature. It's why Breaking Bad was so good. It's what they attempted to do with Kylo Ren in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So I know it's a long-winded answer.
No, man, it's a good answer.
But I feel like, and I just realized I'm like a hot mess tonight, man. I'm eating dinner. I've got stuff. I painted my room and I have stuff everywhere. But yeah, that's what I think. I think that, it's the desire to do the right thing is what makes a superhero. And even if they don't do the right thing, their desire to do the right thing and their heart to do the right thing is what makes it great. So.
Well, you're a superhero for coming on eating dinner, so I thank you. That's a great answer, Ben, and it sums up, I think, what we all feel: the selflessness act of being a hero. The selflessness act of a person is very much a superhero trait, and something that I think we all agree on. So I asked JJ, outside of Batman, because most of us are connected by Batman and that he's our favorite or top two. But outside of Batman, who is your favorite superhero? So Chris, I'll go to you next.
Originally when I read the show notes, I was thinking Wolverine because I love Wolverine. But then I was thinking he's not really that much of a superhero. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not that guy that's out to save the world because it's the right thing to do. He's just kind of there to slash some people and then drink a beer afterward, which I respect.
Right.
But so then
I have a beer right now.
Then I was just thinking, who is heroic? That's not Batman. My second favorite, which would be Captain America. Captain America is through and through just a good guy who wants to do the right thing, like I was saying earlier, whether he's got superpowers or not. Like if you've seen the movie, he jumps on that grenade. And that's a really accurate representation of the character. And he's been through so many different things throughout the years in comics that the guy's been frozen for the majority of his life. He's lost so many people. He's come back to absolutely nothing. He's had nothing. I mean, there's comics where Captain America's really just living day to day. And he's still Captain America doing what he's got to do to help people and all that. Yeah. So there's just something about him that I think resonates as far as what makes a hero a hero. Similar to Superman in a way, but I think Cap just does it better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wolverine too when I first, because he literally is my second favorite superhero. So I was like, I'll just go with him. But you're right, he is kind of more of an anti-hero in a lot of ways than a superhero. He has superhero traits, but he's not the guy you'd look to and be like, oh, Wolverine, hold him up on this mantle of this great character. So
he's not going to lead the team to victory on that one.
Yeah, no. One of mine, and he became mine obviously through the MCU, but I'm going to say Iron Man. And again, he's not the first person that will come to mind, but he's a character who fought his own personal demons and he conquered them to become this heroic person. So for me, I think that's also because we all have our own demons too. Yeah. So I think if when we battle those and we can overcome them and become a better version of ourselves, there's something very heroic about that. So Wolverine is number 2. Don't get it twisted, but I'm going to go with Iron Man on this one, just for the reasons I said. And if anyone out there battling demons, of course, I think he's a good example of someone overcoming that. So Josh, you came back just in time. So outside of Batman, who is your favorite superhero?
Also, I expected Josh to have a big like spaghetti face, and he doesn't. So
I did.
I was hoping,
I it right up. Yeah, if I'm off camera and just call my name, I'm just eating. So I figure.
No, go ahead.
The audience probably doesn't want to watch me, scarfing down my dinner.
Oh, it's perfect.
I think it makes it relatable. It's a relatable thing.
No, we're talking about relatability here.
Yeah.
I think for me, my favorite superhero, Batman is my favorite superhero, but outside of my favorite superhero, I think my next favorite superhero, and in my opinion, the best superhero. So I'm distinguishing between favorite and best. It's one of my things that I do.
Fair.
Yeah. Is Superman, and I'll tell you why. Because I think Superman has this incredible amount of power, and yet he chooses to serve humanity rather than rule humanity. And I think that is incredible. And again, I think that has to do with the fact that he landed in the middle of a farm in Kansas and was raised by Jonathan and Martha Kent. And I think that has a lot to do with it. He was raised with those, old school American values. And I'm not talking about old school as in right wing old school. I'm talking about real old school American values, sacrifice, service, all of those things, the things that the Kents kind of embody, they're the kind of people that look at some of the political figures that we've had lately kind of with side eye, because they can identify the danger in following people like that, So to me, that's why Superman is the best superhero, because he's so powerful and yet he chooses to serve humanity. I also just really enjoy the stories with Superman. I love the John Byrne's Superman of the 90s is probably my favorite. I love Superman the Animated Series, which is largely based on that run. I think that he's just a great superhero. He's got a great supporting cast. Lois Lane, Perry White, Jimmy Olsen. He's got a great arch villain. And I think that his rogues gallery is underrated. He's obviously got Lex Luthor, but he's also got Metallo. He's also got Brainiac. Parasite, I think, in more recent years has become a more interesting villain. Mm-hmm. And Superman the Animated Series introduced some really interesting characters as well. Livewire is one that I can come to think of. I don't think Mercy Graves got the Harley Quinn attention, but, another great character. And, I would say for me, it's Superman outside of Batman.
Yeah, I was expecting more of you to say Superman. I thought he would be everyone's second favorite. He's definitely up there for me too, and he's actually my the first superhero I remember liking was Superman, because the movies I was born. I'm gonna age myself here, but I was born in 1976, and Superman 78 came out in 78. And my sister was a big fan of the movie, so she had Superman bed sheets and Superman all over the place. So naturally, I gravitated to something that was in my life all the time, and it was Superman. It wasn't until I got a little older, where I started watching the Batman TV show, crazy enough. And it's funny that version of Batman is what made me love the character so much. And now that version of Batman to me is more nostalgic, as I love the more mature, obviously, version of the character that we have. So just a little bit of insight there. Hold on a second. We had another knock at the door. I haven't talked to this guy in a minute, so it's going to be good to see him. Hello, Nico.
Whoa.
Oh,
Gentlemen.
Nizzle, there he is.
How are you guys? Good to see you. You're right. I haven't seen a few of you on camera in a long time.
I know. Yeah.
Excited.
It's been a hot minute, man. It's been a hot minute. So thanks for coming on. I know you were busy.
Dude,
and
of course.
Yeah.
I'll make time for you boys anytime. Anytime.
All right. So we've been through a couple of the questions first. The first one was what do you think makes a superhero? You want to take a crack at it?
Oh dear God. What makes superhero?
I just imagine you're like, what makes a superhero?
Jesus.
Let me put my glasses on and
Yeah, let me put my hold on in my dictionary here.
So we've already
you already had the glasses.
Yeah,
right. I had them ready. Okay, what makes superhero? What makes superhero is,
and it could be it doesn't have to be just real quick. It doesn't have to be a fictional one. It could be a real person in your life.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder.
I didn't say to pick a superhero. I said what makes one.
Oh,
no, that's the
honest to God, that's a great question. You know what? I think the beauty of it is I don't have an answer. I think it's anyone who uses any ounce of their self to do something good.
Right. That's the general consensus. Yes. So that's a very dictionary answer, but I'll take it.
I know. I'm mad at myself. I thought I was going to come up with something cooler, but that's all I got.
I will take it. That's a very dictionary style answer, but I will take that. So that is fine. And as you see, the next question is right in front of you on the screen. I know all of us love Batman. I think I know yours, but you could tell the world.
It's Spidey. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
Okay.
The Flash is up there. He's neck and neck, but it's Spidey for me. Just because Spidey's the first superhero besides Batman, because I grew up in a very Batman heavy household, but I also grew up in a very Spider-Man heavy household. Spidey was the hero who I thought I was like. He wasn't the rich billionaire. He wasn't a big guy. He was sort of an outcast. He sort of struggled both at school, socially, and financially and stuff. A lot of very relatable things. He's the most relatable superhero of all time. So I always felt like if there's any hero I could be, it would be like Spider-Man, because I was very similar. So Spidey's my favorite superhero. That's why I wore the hat tonight. It's Superhero Day.
Yeah, man. So you and JJ actually have the same,
my man,
outside of Batman. You guys have that in common. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely up there for me too. I'll say Spider-Man is one of my favorites as well. I feel like Spider-Man, Superman, and Batman are the three that most people will probably always say. Yeah. So I wanted to be a little bit out of the and like I said before, with me and Chris also, Wolverine is our second favorite.
He's up there.
But we don't think he's got this really superhero type.
He's not really heroic.
Yeah. He's not really the heroic. He has heroic moments, yes, but he's not the guy you'd look at and be like, that's a hero.
Well, so. he does the right thing when he has to, but not because he should, right?
Well, it depends on the version too.
Yeah.
Some do write him a little bit more heroic, but generally he's not that guy.
No.
I think Hugh Jackman played him more heroic than he is in the comic books, which is not a knock on Hugh Jackman at all, but who was fantastic. But I think his version of Wolverine was more leading man, lead the team, versus like in the comic books, he'd rather Cyclops lead the team and he's in the background.
I think that's the version we're going to get in the MCU, by the way.
That's the version I hope we get.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get more of an outsider.
If we get, there are no plans currently for any of the X-Men that we know. So,
well, no, why do you want to break my heart, Eric? We're only 20 minutes into this, man.
Well, they're not going to call it X-Men. They're going to call it the Mutants or something like that, which is dumb.
Ridiculous. Yeah,
which is dumb.
I already don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, Nico's drinking hard now because he doesn't like that.
It would be like
just chugged it.
It would be like calling the Avengers the superheroes. It's like,
dear, yeah.
It's dumb.
The Revenger. No kidding.
Well, that was Well, that was a line. That was a line in Dark Phoenix where Jennifer Lawrence says like, maybe we should call ourselves X-Women because the women do more. And I was like, that is the cringiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that was a tough
Like,
one.
it's just
There go all the women
Yeah.
viewers. They're leaving now. Goodbye.
no, but like,
Thanks, JJ.
I mean, like it just I'm not saying, because here's the deal. I love the bit in Infinity War and Endgame when all the women team up. Like, I think those scenes are awesome and will lead to something great like A-Force in the future. But the way it was said in Dark Phoenix just felt pandering to me.
Well,
Whereas the other
I
stuff
think,
didn't.
I think we can all agree, right, that like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is like one of the best things in the DCEU. So we're not saying like we're like
Oh yeah.
against it, but it's like I think you're right. I think those moments are more earned. I think a better example is like, even though, all the controversy surrounding it, but I think a better example is the at the end of The Mandalorian season 2. That actually felt very earned to me. All the women teaming up.
Oh, yeah.
And, like,
Yes.
And like it felt very organic and earned, and
Yes.
they were all badass and like cool and like and stuff. So yeah, I just think it's got to be earned, and it's like,
Yep.
Yeah, I know women who it makes them cringe when they hear stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
I was just joking, guys. It was just a joke.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring really lovely. That's just going on. I was just joking. I'm not poking fun. It's just me being me. That's all. All right. So we have someone else ready to come in. Another third of the Vigilante 1939 podcast. Mr. Nick Zednick is joining us.
Whoa!
Zeddy!
There he
Mr.
is.
Zeddy.
Hey,
Either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
And
Happy
which are you?
National Superhero Day.
Which is just what happened to me, by the way. Eric pointed out.
No, it's all love. It's all love. It's all love.
I like that
Always-
sweatshirt.
Yes.
Oh
I like
yeah,
that too.
how
Very
convenient.
nice.
How convenient, by the way.
All right, Zeddy. So you see the question in front of you.
There's a question? I'm
It
just
should be
kidding.
right on the screen. There you go, brother. Outside of Batman, who is your favorite superhero?
That is a very bloated question to ask me. I could give you 10 different answers, Eric. I mean, obviously the general answer, if all you guys know me as well as you do, would be Superman.
Yes.
But I mean, obviously, like there's a few. I mean, Rocky Balboa was a huge superhero inspiration for me. Donatello from the Ninja Turtles. I'm a big Ninja Turtles guy.
that's a good one.
Some of those Power Rangers were big superhero guys for me. So
Dude, I was gonna
But,
say
yeah.
you've been tweeting a lot about the Power Rangers.
That's
lately.
true, yeah.
oh my god, you want to talk about nostalgia? That's nostalgic as it gets, man. Tommy
That's-
Oliver, the goat, the forever goat, right there. But yeah, I'd say if I'm gonna keep it to capes and tights, I'm gonna go Superman. Just I love the superheroes that really just embrace being different. Superman's an alien, Batman's an orphan. Spider-Man was bitten by a radioactive spider.
Hell yeah.
Each of them, they just embraced, being different. I've been the outcast. I've been bullied for liking superheroes. I've came home wanting to watch them because they felt right to me. They've always been there for me. So I think all you guys have kind of hit the nail on the head. It's, they're there for you when you need them. They do the right thing unequivocally without any shred of doubt. And they're just good people, which seems niche to say, but, it's the truth. You can't be a superhero if you got a little bit of gray to you. I mean, it kind of makes you compelling, but yes, you can. Development. I'm with you. But I think the core of these characters and why we relate to them is that they just make us feel like people.
Yeah, I mean that's a good answer. And you went down the road of all the heroes that you love, which is great. I mean, that's obviously all of us have our other special the superheroes that we like outside of what we consider superheroes. Like for me, with Luke Skywalker, I could throw him in the mix.
Oh,
he's one
of the goats.
Yeah.
right. So I mean,
Him, Zack Snyder.
Quote of the night.
going
Zack
back to the
Snyder.
well.
Go
Nico
Snyder.
Cage. Nico going back to the well.
What's our language policy here? Because I might lose it with Nick.
Chris Terrio. Who else?
I like.
Hey, Chris Terrio was sitting next to Glenn Close at the Oscars.
I
Did
know.
anybody catch that?
I know. Yeah, I was I was
When,
like,
I didn't
and
know
she
that.
did debut.
oh, that was
She
Yes.
did
She-
do the butt.
I saw
did.
I
I
saw the
saw that.
gifs of that.
What is that?
yeah,
The
that
butt?
was you know.
So well,
So
well,
Glenn
Eric,
Close,
let me change.
go ahead.
Let me change my let me change my answer in terms of what makes a superhero. Glenn Close doing the butt. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
Oh,
not-
don't
it's not
talk
the-
about the Oscars.
It's
Don't
not-
talk about the
It's not
Oscars.
the. It's duh.
Duh.
But.
Yes,
butt.
and she's gonna.
I-
And you could take her to Funky Town, JJ. You could
Oh
go
Lord.
with her to Funky Town for sure.
yeah. As long as she wears the costume she wore in Hook, then we're good. So
Okay. I don't know. That seems creepy to me.
She's
I'm
in
just
Hook.
gonna leave that one alone. I'm just.
Wait,
gonna leave
who did
this
she
one.
play in Hook?
That was a deep cut, JJ. I
Google
like
it.
it.
She's in Hook.
That's a deep cut.
That's
She's not
Yeah,
Tinkerbell.
she's in Hook.
That's Julia Roberts.
No, she's in it.
Julia Roberts
would
is
know-
in Hook, but so
Yeah,
is
so
Glenn
wouldn't
Close.
know it.
Roberts is in it.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't seen that movie in a
100%,
long
I'm not
time.
good.
Oh my gosh.
He found it.
He just found it.
oh wow.
So
Oh, she
she's
plays
the-
the
She's the pirate that gets put in the boo box. That's Glenn Close.
Wow.
I have not seen that movie in so long. You guys are bringing.
That's a
some.
I-
legendary cameo.
I was today years old when I discovered that. That is.
wow.
I'm so glad. Josh, I gotta
Wow.
come on your podcast and we're gonna do this. We're gonna
Yeah,
talk about Glenn
we
Close
should-
and Hook.
We should just make. We love Glenn Close and Hook and make that an episode.
That's the best prosthetics I've ever seen.
Man,
Yeah.
It's really
That is
awesome.
the best movie magic I've ever seen.
I wish I had the picture so I can show it to everyone now. I'm not going to do that. I could, but I'm not going to waste my.
There's a.
There we go.
There's a.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
There she is.
There's
That
a
is so
photo.
incredible.
There's a photo where like that I'm seeing right now where like she's like looking like this and from like profile angle and Robin Williams is like got his like disguise on and he's like creeping over her like this and it just looks hilarious.
This one's better. How we all
Wow,
reacted to
man.
this news. How we all reacted to this news just now.
Holy
That's
wow.
that's how I'm gonna be if the 49ers draft Mac Jones tomorrow night, which could happen. So, yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna be you or us,
Uh-oh.
Josh.
Mhm.
It's gonna be you
Yeah.
or us.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Well, you see, you're trying to bring some sports talk out of me right now, and this is not. I can't
Not
do
the
that right
place,
now.
not the
That's
place.
coming soon. That's coming in the future, probably next month for me. But this is, yeah, this is something. Not yet. But I do enjoy our sports talk, Josh, every once in a while on Twitter. We talk a little sports over there.
Mhm.
So I'm going to move right along. This next question is one I think we've all been asked in our lifetimes, and I love this one because I love just hearing what people would want. So I'm going to display it first, and then Chris, you can go first.
Okay, so immediately what comes to mind is I want Wolverine claws, but then I realize there's no reason for that. So there's really just no practical reason to have claws, other
You
than
ever
I
had
could
a
do
really
almost-
gamey steak? I mean, like, maybe.
yeah, but then like when they go back in, they're really dirty with like steak juice and stuff. I don't want that. I'm just saying.
You get the healing power with it. So
Oh, there you go.
It's one thing I never thought about. Like if Wolverine stabs someone and there's blood on him, and then they go back in him, he could get really sick, man.
Well, yeah,
no,
but
he's
his
got
body will
healing
clean it.
powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I
He
think
gets-
he's probably got
they-
all kinds of DNA in his body because of that.
Yeah, dude, that's wild.
And guys, I asked the question to the room about the second favorite superhero or your non-Batman favorite. So I'm going to show a couple. Reno says Nightwing.
Ooh, love the
Nice
Nightwing.
one.
Oh.
I like the shadow. That's a good
Yes.
Good.
Ryan Lauer, a friend of the program. Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Raffi.
Wrong. I'm just kidding.
I,
Hey, did you?
Oh, wow.
Love you, Lauer.
But hold
Flower, bring him on.
But hold on. He also says Bobby from Bobby's World.
I can be watching that. Oh my god.
He is a superhero.
Yes, and Eureka from Eureka's Castle. So Lauer has a lot of ground covered. Love that guy.
No,
A lot of ground covered here.
oh, so if I can just talk real quick about Bobby, is now the word generic is ruined for me rewatching Bobby's World because their last name is generic and spelled like generic.
Oh, generic.
So like, so now every time I see the word generic, I think generic. So, it's on Amazon Prime, by the way.
Probably won't be rewatching that show, but
Yeah,
I think that's a memory I
Alright.
keep locked.
See, this is where my age comes to play again because all these shows are way past my prime. Like I was much older when these shows came out, so you guys are educating me right now.
JJ I was very young when Bobby's World came out. Was it clever?
Yeah.
Is it
it's
really
just
clever?
There's some really like. I think there's funny jokes in it. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I have a question. Since we're going down this road, I have a question now.
I love that side conversation.
Would Dora be considered a superhero?
So my daughter, she is.
Sure.
Okay, that's all that.
Yeah.
Okay. There
What
we go.
Dora accomplished is nothing short of incredible.
So
She explored
she
like
went
no
to the-
other.
She went to the Gooey Geyser. That's all I remember from when
Yeah, I
my
know.
sister was little.
And she taught children around the world Spanish. And
it's
English.
true. That part
Yeah,
is very true.
yes.
Yes, she did. She taught a lot of children Spanish. So that's very I would say I'd agree. She is a superhero. She's a
And
superhero.
Swiper is the greatest antagonist of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time. Swiper is the greatest antagonist of all time.
When my daughter was
I
first
still-
starting to learn how to speak, she was watching Dora a lot, so she was actually saying "hola" to us, which was bizarre. It's like, where did you learn that? Oh, Dora. But she, "hola." It's like, okay.
All right. So Chris, you said Wolverine's
yeah.
claws. Is that your
No,
answer or?
I can't stick with it because it's not
Okay.
practical.
Okay.
But just like a healing factor, I think would be cool. If I could just heal, that's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Nico. What about you?
All right. I have to go with what I truly would want, and that is Spider-Man's powers. But I am too lazy to make web shooters, so I will accept the Raimi version where it comes out of my veins. I don't care. It would be so cool to web swing around Chicago. It would be awesome. It would be awesome.
I agree. I've been to Chicago. I mean, obviously I live in New York. It would be fun to do
Cool.
here, but
There too, yeah.
But Chicago, man, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And
All
that
right,
Spidey sense is underrated.
Oh, that's all.
That
Are
Spidey
you
sense.
kidding me?
That Spidey
That'd be
sense I
awesome to
need.
have. Yeah.
I have anxiety to the max, so if I could get some predisposition of what's going to happen to me, we're in.
What's the movie with? Oh, I'm forgetting the name of it.
Howard the
Angelina
Duck.
Jolie, James McAvoy. He's the hero.
Wanted.
Is it?
Yeah,
Wanted?
Wanted.
The bended.
When
the
he has
bended
to curve
bullets.
the
Curve
Yes.
It had Morgan
he has to
Freeman in it
curve the
too.
bullet.
bullets.
Yeah. So his anxiety was
Oh,
his
yeah.
spider sense. Remember that? Like that's what made
Yeah.
him aware of things. So that'd be cool. A pretty cool thing. All right, Zeddy, you go next. What one superpower? I can't wait to hear this. But what superpower?
Because I've only thought about this one like every day for the rest of my life, right?
No, I think yeah.
I mean, the generic answer I could say like superhuman strength, right? Because everybody wants that.
Generic.
Yeah, there you go, generic. I could say invisibility because I'm obviously related to that one. But I think to kind of think outside of the box here,
I know
this
why
might not
you want
surprise a
invisibility.
few of you. I would love the power of persuasion because I think I could make the world a better place in Zeddy's eyes with that.
Like Purple Man from Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes.
Well,
Zeddy,
maybe
man.
not like that.
Well, I
because
had better
no one said you to be
intentions
that
than that,
guy.
but you know, I wouldn't go that dark, you know. But yeah,
All right, Josh.
Gosh, I think that I would want again. Well, like I live in the greater LA area, so having web shooting powers would I could last like 2 or 3 blocks and then I'd be done
Oh,
because that's the circumference of buildings in LA, and then it's like sprawl. So I would probably go for. I would love to have Wanda Maximoff's reality altering powers.
Yo.
Again, I wouldn't be
No.
as dark, to piggyback off Seti. I wouldn't enslave a whole suburb in New Jersey, but yeah, I think that would be a pretty cool superpower to be able to kind of alter reality and shoot wiggly woos, as Evan Peters said, from your hands. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. That's an awesome term. That was an awesome term. All right, so okay. Last but not least,
I would probably go with telepathy.
Mm.
I think about that a lot. I would love to know what people are thinking. Like first and foremost, it could avoid a lot of fights with the mother of my child. Not that we fight that much, but once in a while, just be like, "Oh, how about this?" Like, "Oh, it's like you read my mind." Like, no, but
now, say if she's listening, I love you. There you go.
I do love her. She might be. I sent her the link.
Yeah.
But seriously, I think about that a lot. It's like one of my favorite scenes in any superhero movie ever is the first X-Men when Professor X is kind of messing with Wolverine a little bit, and he's just like, "Where are you going?" And he doesn't know what's going on, and he's like freaking out.
Hmm.
I remember being in the movie theater watching that and just like geeking out, going, "That's what I would love to do with telepathy." It's just, because I'm not a ventriloquist, you get to be a ventriloquist and really mess with people. Like I wouldn't be mean, but just have a little bit of fun, have that little bit of where you going, and then have somebody be like, "What? What was that?" And I'd just be like, "I didn't hear anything."
yeah, that was what I was gonna say too. Telepathy is the one I would want more than anything else. When you're one of 8 kids and you're the only boy, you really want to know what your sisters are thinking about you all the time because they can be very, very judgmental. So it'd be good to be able to beat them to the punch. Say, "Ha! Wait, I know what you're gonna say." So that would be pretty. But I do think, and I think in a quiet moment, most people would want that power. It's just very, very, like Chris said, it would be very practical to be able to know what someone's thinking before they actually say it. So that I think would be very cool. We have a couple answers from the room. So Mr. Garrett Grev says flight, which yes would be very cool. I think all of us could agree to that. It'd be a very cool thing to be able to fly. Jacob,
cooler to be in the panel with us, but whatever. Garrett,
Jacob says the power to remember everything because he forgets so much.
Nice.
I feel that. My God, Jacob, I remember you.
Yeah, so super memory would be cool. I agree. The older you get, the more you realize that. So it's definitely a very, very cool thing to be able to have. If I could remember every single thing that that you say and that you need to do, you need to cover, because I forget things all the time, all day. All right, so the last one, and then we'll have just general discussion. But the last one, this is more of a personal one. So obviously we know not all superheroes wear capes. So in each one of your lives, I want to know who your superhero has been. It could be more than one person, and I will start with Josh.
Oh boy. For me, I think my superhero most often in life has been my grandpa. He's kind of been there, like, whenever I've been in trouble. Like, my dad is just very, like, straight up, like, you messed up, kind of a person. And my grandpa has been my grandpa's, like, much more, like, which is important, I think, which, love you, Dad. I appreciate that about you. And love you for it. But my grandpa has just been the one that's been like, "Oh, it's okay. Like you're gonna be all right," and kind of makes me feel safe. So I would say that my grandpa is probably my biggest superhero.
Aw, I love that.
That's awesome.
Love that answer. Okay, let's go, JJ. You next.
It's
such a human reaction.
I mean, it's. I feel weird saying this, being like I'm surrounded by superhero stuff. Like I have a Buzz Lightyear toy staring at me across the room, but it's not something I think about often. But since you're asking, I would definitely go with I'd go with my sisters who I have 2 older sisters that have been through hell and back and are really there's a whole thing where like we all grew up Catholic, and there was a very sheltered worldview.
Mm.
Yeah, right. And once you start to branch out of that and go, oh, wait a minute, like everything that I've learned in my life that somebody said this is wrong because of this. It's like, oh, there's gray areas that I didn't understand, and falling in with that. Not just saying this because of what I said before, but the mother of my child, she's also someone who was very open with me and very helps me learn. Like, well, I said a slur that I shouldn't have said, and she explained to me like, well, this is why it's not okay that you said that or you think that way, and feeling like not feeling like I'm being attacked or being lectured, but feeling like I'm being educated. My sisters do that. She does that. Those are the type of people you need in your life that are going to educate you and push you forward, and not because there's some sort of agenda, but because they want you to be a better person. The same way Jonathan Kent wants Clark Kent to be a better person. You need that person in your life that's going to push you forward and going to say, yes, what you did was wrong, but here's how you can make it better. That's the type of person you need in your life.
Okay.
Thank you for
Chris.
sharing that.
After all those two heartwarming answers, mine is going to sound really bad because I don't have a particular superhero in life.
Oh, come on.
It's still just Batman.
I mean,
I met Santa Claus at the mall.
Santa is a good guy at the mall too. Like, he's different every year, and he's always happy to see you. He remembers you. I mean, Santa is the best superhero in life.
He's a different guy every year.
But he always remembers you. Like Jacob wants that superpower. Santa has it because he always knows who you are.
That's a good point. That is a very good point.
There you go.
You
I'm
made
not
my
even
joke
drinking right now.
times better, and I love you.
But
Okay.
no, I don't really have one. I don't know.
Oh,
That's fair. That's fair.
So you're yourself. You're your
I have
own
my own superhero to be for my kid. That's kind of the way I look at it.
All right. That's
Okay.
fair.
No.
Okay. Zeddy.
Wow, man. Before I answer this question, there's a way that I kind of always answer this question when someone asks me. And it actually goes from a scene from Amazing Spider-Man 2. I believe it's like it's a deleted scene where like Peter's at Gwen's kind of gravestone, and he's grieving over her, and his father comes over him, and he like meets his father, and his father tries to get him through Gwen's kind of lost, and he says such like a beautiful line where he's like, so bring her with you, like, so carry her with you. And I think the way that I kind of relate that is, I could say my mom, because she's still, even at 25, she's still like my biggest champion. Even the littlest thing that I do, it's always like the biggest thing that I do.
Right.
But it's obviously, I would probably have to say my grandparents, because they were the ones that, obviously, like your parents are supposed to be the ones that teach you that, yes, there is gray in the world, but it's the choices that you make decide whether or not that gray affects you or not. And I think kind of just being as close as I was with my grandparents, I was like Clark Kent, because it was like, then now to make another movie reference is, it goes back to Man of Steel. It's like whatever choice you make in life is gonna impact the world. Whatever path that you go on, like it's ultimately it's your choice. So I would say probably my grandparents had the biggest influence on me, but it's really like my parents that kind of made sure that I steer clear on the path that I want to go, and whatever path I was, whether that was good or bad. I've been on it, and they've been there. So. Yeah.
Very good answer. Very, very heartwarming. Again, another heartwarming answer. All right, Nico, you're up.
Yeah, no, this is a tough question. Because I actually do think about this a lot. For me, oh wow, if I really reflect on it, and what's funny is I don't know where any of them are at. I do know where one of them's at because it's been so long. But every speech therapist I've ever had, if you listen to our show, I've talked about it a lot. I'm someone who stutters, and when I was younger, it was really bad. From about kindergarten up until like my freshman year of high school, it was really bad. And I went to speech therapy for like 7 or 8 years, and it was always someone new each year. But as I've aged, and I'm actually a speech language pathologist at the moment myself.
Yes.
Congrats, by the
When
way.
I started,
Yes. Congratulations.
very much,
Let's clap,
guys.
man. Very
thank you very much, guys.
congratulations again.
Thank you very much, guys. You guys are the best. Thank you. I didn't realize till like after high school when I started getting into my career, like at the end of college, that the patience they all had and the actual difference every single one of those people made at that moment in time for me that kept building over time. And they probably don't know where I'm at, and I don't know where they're at, like I just said, but those were weeks and months that literally led to the biggest change of all time. Because when I was 14, if you told me in 10 years I would be on a show talking into a microphone to an audience of people, I would have told you there's no shot in hell that would happen. So all of them, and I am going to be cheesy and group my parents and my sister in there, shout out to Daddy Batman. But just because the amount of patience they had to have with me, and I know it was hard on all them at times too, to watch me go through that. So all those people.
Man, that's awesome. All your answers.
Well, thank you,
were
brother.
awesome.
Well,
All
thank
your
you, brother.
answers were awesome. Except for Chris's. I still can't believe he doesn't have one person in his life.
I'll think about it some more.
I mean,
Can I?
What, Josh? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I want to say to Nico. I know you said that you feel like you're most like Peter Parker, but I just wanted to encourage you. You actually remind me of Dick Grayson more than Peter Parker, because
Nice.
you put care of others before yourself in choosing your career, and I think that's really awesome, man. And you take, like Dick Grayson, you've taken something that caused you great pain, and you've turned it around and made it into something that you can help others with. So well done.
I'm not lying to you, Josh. That's one of the coolest things anyone has ever said to me. Thank you so much.
Well said. Well said.
Very nice.
I don't have his ass.
That was very nice.
Thank you. I don't have Dick Grayson's ass.
There it is.
I'm working on that, Josh. I'm working on that, Josh. Thank you so much. Brian.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, mine's gonna be a little cliche, but it was definitely my father, who is no longer with me. And it's weird. Had you asked me that when he was alive, I don't know if I would have given the same answer. But as you get older, you gain a new perspective. And my father raised 8 kids, just one income. It was just him. He worked from like 7. I didn't see him most times until like 8:30 at night, and he left every morning when we went to school. He would he made lunch for all of us every day before we left for school. And he never, I don't remember him ever complaining about the life that he had or the life that he chose. And I think of sometimes the moods I get in and the way I can be. And I always have to center myself. And I just think of my dad, and I say, all right, you know what, Eric, it's really think of what dad did and how he lived. And he really gave me a good example of what it means to be a man and to take care of your family, and to make sure you always put them first, to be selfless and put your family first. So it's definitely was my father. Again, not trying to make anyone cry or sad or anything, but that's definitely he definitely was my superhero. So
That's awesome.
I appreciate all this.
Yeah.
For real.
Really.
Awesome.
No, this is what this is all about. I mean, we argue all the time on these social media platforms, yet it's really, at the end of the day, National Superhero Day, it's all this stuff brings us together. So I guess not to get too in, but no, seriously, thank you. I didn't know a lot of this stuff about you guys. Obviously, I knew that about Nico, but like the rest of you guys, I mean, that's awesome. So sincerely, thank you.
Yeah, it's good. You're right, Zeddy. We talk to each other all the time on social media, and I've gotten to know you guys a little bit and Chris a little bit, but I don't know Josh and JJ as much. And this was actually pretty cool to learn a little bit more about them and know what they are, who they are. So any cool things did you guys see anywhere on social media or maybe on TV about anything people were doing today for National Superhero Day? Did anyone see anything cool?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
They announced DC Fandom today.
Yes,
they did do that. Yes,
that is cool. That is tough.
Yes. So let's talk about that then.
Exactly.
That's cool.
He's coming.
last year I had Nico. The first time I did anything with Nico
Yeah.
and Zeddy was on our very first Iceberg Lounge, and they were both on the show.
That's crazy.
Chris was also there. Yes, Chris was there. So we all worked together at that time for the first time. But yeah, they announced today Fandom, and last year was such an awesome event. I wasn't sure they were going to do it once things opened up again and we were able to go to cons and stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that might fall to the wayside, but no, they're doing it. They're doing it in October, not August like we had last year. So really quick, any of you guys want to talk about it? What do you expect to see from there? Because we kind of know what's upcoming. So what are you anticipating? What do you expect to see? Anyone?
I think. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead, JJ.
I was just gonna say I think a lot of what happened last year, where we got good looks into Wonder Woman 84, and it was the first time we saw anything from the Suicide Squad and obviously the Batman. So I think there'll be more of that, where it's like the movies that are in development. Like we'll probably see, really cool stuff about the Flash. Then maybe even at some point we'll see Michael Keaton back in the bat suit or something. Like that's what I'm waiting for more than anything. I just watched the movie last night, 89 last night. Because I was like, I'm going to watch it because I feel like it. But anyway, I think,
choice.
well, yeah. To me, the event itself, it was just me in my bedroom on my laptop watching this stuff all day, but I would go on Twitter and I felt like I could talk to everybody I knew at the time.
Yeah.
And be like, feeling like I'm having that Comic-Con experience without having to go through all the lines and everything, So I think it's going to be a lot of, I don't want to say the same, quote unquote, because we'll get new stuff, obviously the new movies and TV shows that they're going to do. But I think, it's, and plus some of my favorite stuff from it was, they did those bits with Kevin Conroy and Will Friedle as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Yeah. Watching like the
that was cool.
The Batman 66 show. It's like, and it was actually them doing the voices, and it was really funny. And I was like, and there were other little bits that they did like that. I was like, this is great. This is something you wouldn't get at a Comic-Con.
You're right.
So I'm, I could go on all day. I'll let everybody else talk. But yeah, I'm very excited. I think we're gonna get like Bill Raimi said earlier. We're gonna get the Batman. A lot of cool stuff about him.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm very, very excited.
I think it's probably safe to say that the Batman's marketing campaign is going to kick off in earnest at Fandom.
Yeah.
That's when we're going to see them start putting the pedal to the metal. I was just going to say, I think we should probably temper our expectations with is any sort of long-term plans being laid out by Warner Brothers for their films. I think they're holding things very close to their chest. I think part of that is because of the experiences they've had in the past where they've announced a bunch of stuff and a bunch of it has fizzled out. I think also part of that is because
that's never happened. What are you talking about?
I think part of it too, though, is spoilers. I think honestly, we're going to get a lot of those answers when The Flash comes out. And I think they want to be very careful with announcing stuff because they want that to kind of be surprises in The Flash. And I'm just speculating here. I'm not an insider. I don't have any knowledge. I don't have any contact with anybody with any knowledge. But I'm speculating that they're probably going to roll out what a future Justice League is going to look like in The Flash. And we're going to see, it's going to be a Justice League anchored by Gal Gadot, Michael Keaton, and I honestly think this is both a hope and I'm becoming more and more convinced. I think Henry Cavill will return for team up stuff with DC. So
I'm sorry I shook my head, but
Eric's expression was
I
great.
really, really don't think that's going to happen. I hope it does because I love him in the role too, and it'd be cool. But I think they're really moving away from that. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Again, I don't have any inside information on this specifically, so I don't know. But I do think it's pretty cool. You also brought up that we're going to see how another Justice League might be laid out. I don't expect to see that for many, many years, but it's hey, anything's possible. I mean, they seem to be doing stuff and then they just throw it at us and like, hey, here we go. So of the slate of movies that's coming out, obviously we're going to have Aquaman 2. You'll have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. We're going to have Black Adam. At Fandom, what do you think we might get from those? Chris?
I think we're getting trailers because Flash started filming what was like the first week of April, I think.
Yeah.
So by
Yep.
October, they've got to have, if the movie's not done filming, they're gonna have a chunk, and some of that has to be finished special effects. I think we're getting a trailer for the Flash, which I'm amped to see.
Sorry, Chris.
Jesus, Peter.
Damn it, Pete. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Flash trailer. I do think we'll get a Black Adam trailer too. I think those are both givens, and of course, I agree with Josh and everybody else. The Batman promotional tour is going to kick off in October, especially with it being October, and we kind of think the Batman might be a Halloween type setting anyway.
Right.
So it just makes sense. But beyond those things, what I really hope we get, and I was talking to Zeddy about this earlier, I want to get like the Batgirl announcements, the Zatanna stuff, and the
Right.
HBO Max TV
Yeah.
things. That's what I'm
Yes.
kind of more interested in because we don't know anything about those still.
Please, Warner Brothers, make Emerald Fennel direct Zatanna.
Please, oh my
Yes.
God.
I know
Yes.
you're on
Please.
that
Oh my
train as
God,
well.
Please.
yes.
It would seem to be logical if they're gonna have her write it. They should
Just
just
want
let
an
her direct
Oscar.
it. Yeah, it seems like a very easy
Well
connection
deserved.
to go there. So, Nico, of things we
Yeah.
have heard that might be coming from DC, do you think they'll let any of those cats out of the bag at Fandom?
You mean the return of Zack Snyder to finish his sci film arc?
Not what you
Well,
want,
wait.
not what you're hoping.
Restore the Snyderverse.
Let me just say something real quick before you go.
Don't
Nico.
put me off, Eric. I'm done.
I will.
Do you know what Warner Brothers said when they saw the numbers?
Oh,
They
this
said-
is a joke.
They said, "Not impressed."
I love it. I love that.
You've been hanging around me too much, JJ.
I thought he was gonna make a. I thought he was gonna make a reach around joke there. I was concerned.
So,
Um,
Nico, I'm talking
Well, I
about
should've,
things
'cause
like
I mean,
No,
y'all
I
are
know,
really
I know. I'm
reaching
not-
for this stuff, though.
I know Zach's not coming back. I was totally kidding.
I mean, like maybe Catwoman or the Catwoman show, things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's funny you bring that up. Because that's what I was gonna say. They've been teasing the Catwoman show. When HBO Max launched along with Green Lantern, they announced Strange Adventures. I think that could be an amazing HBO Max show.
Yep.
Amazing HBO Max show. Maybe those, maybe a little more clarity on the GCPD thing.
Right.
I think you might, like Chris said, you might get that Batgirl thing. And I actually think you're going to find out. I literally think they're going to be so pleased in the filming, in the production process. You will see the Supergirl film announced at Fandom
Yeah.
with
so.
Sasha Calle starring. That's going to happen. And maybe J.J. Abrams' Superman stuff is going to be at least shown
Forgot about that.
there. I think it could be really cool
Oh.
because the first Fandom was such a hit, and we all said here, it was also like so much fun.
It was.
They were
Yeah.
overwhelmingly pleased with it. So I actually think with a little less COVID restrictions and a little bit more money and a little bit more stuff, I think this one could be like big. It could be
Yeah.
bigger. You might have some stars there. You'll have a lot more content there. You'll have some online stuff to interact with. I think it's going to be huge, and they still are keeping it at that one day, which I know is tricky last time, but I do hope they keep it to that one day and just let it run, repeat the next day, or have it be where you could sort of pick and choose what you want to watch. Because
Yeah.
I think it's going to be huge. I think it's
They
going to be
need,
huge. I'm
they
excited.
need to they need to have a streaming option on HBO Max this time.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
they
That could be
better.
big.
That'll
That could be
drive up
big.
numbers.
That'd be
Mhm.
fun.
It was
That could be big.
dreadful. It was dreadful on the
Oh,
computer.
on
Like
the computer.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it was fun. It was great, but it was just I wish I could
No,
watch
it
it
was-
on my TV. Yeah.
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 No, I'm with you 100%. Hopefully they do, because I think they're going to show a lot of cool stuff that we're going to want to see
Mhm.
on
You,
the big
know what?
screen.
You know what they might announce is that Joss Whedon and Ray Fisher are doing a Cyborg movie. So
I'm not going to lie to you guys, though.
too
I'm not gonna lie to
soon.
you guys. I do think the only thing that can happen, I think you might get a Deathstroke something. That's
Yeah.
like my hope.
I
With-
I
So
hope
that's if nothing
so.
else
With Joe
comes from all
Manganiello,
this
yeah.
Restore the Snyderverse, should be
That's-
that. Yes.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Hot Joe, right, Eric? Isn't that what he's called?
Hot Joe.
Yes,
Hey,
and
Joe.
he's been very like he's been so open about the process and where he was at with the
Yeah.
development of doing that and having that
Mhm.
film. I agree that's something that I think we might get. That's a very good call, Nico.
It would be a hit. There's no way that doesn't do well. It could be low budget. It's cool. It's kick ass. You know.
He's an awesome character. So
Get the
yeah.
Joe
John Wick
Manganiello's like
Yeah.
hot. Yeah, so you could get him.
I have a question. Eric, do you mind if I ask a
It's
question?
very
Go
hot.
ahead.
Do you guys think in the future, post pandemic, post COVID, that Warner Brothers just may forego going to Comic-Con and just do a live DC fandom for a couple of days somewhere?
I think so.
I-
I absolutely do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's possible. I don't
what's
think
what's
they'll
the Disney one? They do one.
D23.
So
D23.
that's Star Wars
Okay.
Celebration. Sorry, D23 is over.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll completely abandon going to cons. But I think their presence might not be as big as it's been in the past if they can do something like you said. Because I thought that last year when we were watching fandom, I said I wonder if when things open up, will they do this live like we have at Comic Cons? The biggest key for this though is that it reaches literally everyone, right? Like fandom reaches everybody because it's virtual. So that's something that they did first. And I think if you're looking at like, that's always competition, no matter what we want to say or do. I think they know, aha, this is something we have now, right? This is our thing. So I think it's something that they might continue to lean on in the way it is. But I thought the same thing, Josh. That's a very good question.
And I think if they were to make it a live event, it would be on top of, like, they would still stream everything. It would still be a streamed event. But I think that they would give the option, and I think it would be fun. I think we should all go, and I think we should all meet up in person.
Let's do it.
We could all, we definitely
that.
all be able to go as press too. So because we all have
Oh,
shows
yeah.
and stuff, you'll get your press passes. We'd be able to go. It'd be cool.
I just want,
All right, so
I'm vaccinated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add to that also, though, the idea of DC continuing to do this online only, or any kind of event. San Diego Comic-Con put itself on Thanksgiving weekend this year,
Ouch.
which
And
I
it's
don't
small.
think I don't think WB has any plan to doing anything there, like anything large scale.
Right.
So, and I wonder if that's going to be a thing going forward with San Diego Comic-Con. Are they going to be smaller from now on, just because?
Makes me sad, yeah.
Yeah, it makes me sad too,
Yeah.
because like the last few years, like even pre-COVID, it's been getting smaller anyway.
Because Marvel's moved all their content to D23, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And WB
Right,
hasn't
yeah.
had a lot of content to show.
Yeah, Jacob in the group brings up a pretty decent point. What the costs are for
That's a
running
good
fandom.
point. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
But the
Good point.
difference here, so
I
went
gotta
to-
imagine.
Go ahead, JJ.
Go ahead.
We
No,
keep
no, you
running
go
into
ahead.
each other.
Yeah, you go.
Josh,
No, but you go this time. You go this time.
So I went to WonderCon, and that's the only con that I've ever been to is WonderCon, because I don't feel like driving down to San Diego. So I drive 20 minutes to Anaheim instead, and I went there, and so DC. I think it's a great question that Jacob has. I think what would make it worth it for Warner Brothers and DC is their ability to drive the hype, drive the narrative of the convention, and really control everything, and really make it huge, because DC has to share space with the other publishers and the other studios. And at Comic-Con, it's not just comic book studios. It's all the film studios have booths there. Warner Brothers has a booth there. And I almost wonder if DC fandom will be like the foundation because Warner Brothers has other properties as well. And I wonder if it'll be a foundation for a Warner Brothers event, kind of like D23, where they talk about other stuff too, like Lord of the Rings, or I know that's on Amazon now, but I guess Game of Thrones would be the other thing. And
it could be big.
Yeah.
Like if they called it MaxCon and it was all HBO Max stuff,
You mentioning that, Josh, makes me think of they're doing a the Conjuring comic book, which obviously wasn't a DC thing, but DC's doing a comic book to help promote the movie, and that struck me as this, like, duh, why haven't you guys been doing this before, kind of a thing. Like, you know, in like, I think Godzilla is with like IDW or Image or Dark Horse or something, but it's like, you guys could have this stuff at DC, and DC Comics suddenly producing a Kong versus Godzilla comic book or sequel or whatever, just like you're doing a Conjuring comic book. It's like, this is
Harry Potter. Where are the
Yeah.
Harry Potter comics?
Oh, it's huge.
that would be amazing. It's like, this is synergy that I think they're now having, I mean, sort of forced to have with HBO Max and the movie theaters going forward because of COVID. But it's like, where's the Mortal Kombat comic books? You know, like this stuff that could be really exciting to, you know, not that we'd see like a DC versus Mortal Kombat movie or anything, but like showing that kind of stuff at DC Fandom. It's like, oh, by the way, Tom Taylor is writing the Mortal Kombat comic book, and that's when I turn into Fry from Futurama and go, shut up and take my money. You know, it's like that's the kind of stuff that, like, it starts with The Conjuring, and I hope it goes forward with all this other stuff that they're doing. You know, would be really, like, amazing to me as a fan, and I'm sure gets more books in people's hands, you know?
Well, Zeddy tried to slide something in the comments, but
Oh,
I'm gonna
no, you saw
I'm gonna
it.
post it now because this is something that's coming. And
I just got word from my agent that I was allowed to say that.
there you go.
so
Breaking news. Breaking news.
They accepted my audition. It was so fascinating. Man, Andy Muschietti is literally the nicest guy. Let me tell you.
Again, shut up and take my money.
What do you think I'm hiding under this sweatshirt, man? Gotta hide those guns for another 6 more months.
Yeah, so that actually was interesting that you brought that up, Josh, because I saw that was announced. Also, we got the announcement last week that New York Comic Con is going to actually be normal. They will have restrictions, obviously, and there will be social distancing. You probably have to wear a mask. But Pete and I normally go to that every year. So it's cool that we probably be able to go again this year. I don't know how it's going to be. Pete said he might not be able to because of work. I don't know. But I'm definitely looking forward to that and just seeing what it's like. Like, it's going to be cool to go back in that environment, because normally, guys, it's just crazy. I don't know if you guys have ever been.
I've never been to New York.
To any
I hear it's
Comic-Con.
fun, though.
I've been there a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and Saturday it's just unbelievably packed. So it's gonna be cool to see how they do it this year. With the restrictions and the social distancing involved. I'm vaccinated, and tomorrow, actually today, I'm fully vaccinated now. Today was my 14th day. So I am
Nice.
I can
Congratulations.
go back to being a heathen, I guess. And
I'm getting my second shot on Cinco de Mayo.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go have a margarita after, because the next day you might not want to, because so right away, dude, just power that one down, because the first day, the day I got the second shot, I was fine, but the next day I felt tired.
It was tough. Yeah,
it was a little bit, the side effects are a little strong. So, but it's cool. Everyone else getting vaccinated, I'm not gonna pick on you if you're not, but if everyone else, okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to know. Yeah, guys, it's the quickest way. PSA to everyone watching. It's the quickest way to get back to normal. That's how I look at it.
I am watching the
I
comments
agree
right
with
now. I'm watching the comments.
I've not seen any other than what Eric just shared.
Get the damn shot. Get the damn shot.
Yes, seriously, guys, just get it.
Get the damn.
Don't worry. There might be some cool effects that come from it.
Yeah, dude. If we turn into zombies, dude. It's
Hey, look at my claws.
Yeah, look at his claws.
Look at my claws.
Chris, look at his claws. That's awesome. All right,
You're like,
gentlemen.
"Yes, it happened."
So, any closing thoughts about Superhero Day? No,
Love 'em.
No closing thoughts.
I think that it was great to be on here with everybody, and because like Zeddy said earlier, this brings us all together, and we can argue and do whatever on Twitter We could argue about Ray Fisher's career. We could, it go back and forth. But this is what brings us together. It's a common thing we all love, and it's a common thing we all appreciate. So I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Well
Yeah.
said.
That's well said.
Same.
We're all each other's superheroes here, dude.
You know, I can say this.
You are all my Teen Titans. I love you all.
and I can say this now. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can say this now that Josh has a podcast. I love all your podcasts. So there we go.
Likewise.
Wow, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, so-
I've been wanting to say that for a while, Josh. So I dig that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I agreed. I think that superheroes kind of bring us all together. I think that
Yep.
it's a lot of fun to jump on here with you guys and have conversations. I will say, DC and Marvel need to do a lot better next year with National Superhero Day. They kind
Oh,
it was a
yeah.
bit of a flop. DC announced fandom, so that's
Yeah.
cool. But come on, guys, let's put a little more effort into it next year.
Yeah, I mean, when you have National Pizza Day or National Donut Day, you always get discounts on pizza at certain places, or the Dunkin' Donuts will give you a free donut or whatever. Can we get something like that from the comic shops?
They should do free comics.
Yeah,
on National Superhero Day.
Well, we have free comic book day.
yeah.
True.
There you go.
Get
Move that
Should be this
to
day
National
though.
Superhero Day.
Combined.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
release plan to release some shows on this day or something. I don't know. Do something
Yeah.
kind of fun with the day to make it a bigger event, because like you said, it's for fictional characters, but it'd be cool to tie it in with real life superheroes, like I said before. Police officers, firemen, doctors,
Yes.
nurses,
Mhm,
Nico,
mhm,
Nico,
yes.
of course.
Yep.
People who put
Zaddy.
themselves
Real life
out
Batman
there.
Beyond right here.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So anything you guys need to plug, I'll start with Josh. Go ahead, man. Plug away.
Yeah, so I recorded my latest episode about 2 weeks ago, and I've been so busy at work I haven't been able to post it yet because I discovered I don't actually have a speaking mic. I have a singing mic, so I've got to sort that out.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, you
so
sound lovely, my friend.
when I talk, thank you. When I talk on my show, it's really quiet, so I have to go in and edit. Every time I talk, I've got to raise the volume. So apologies. I had an excellent.
I was wondering why I was
conversation.
tapping my foot every time you talked.
Yeah, I had an excellent conversation with Ryan Haas.
Nice.
About
Yes.
Back to the Future.
That's awesome.
We also had a conversation about Ben Affleck. The campaign to bring Ben Affleck back to play Batman on an HBO Max special. So that tells you how dated the show is already. But it is a great conversation. The Back to the Future portion is timeless. So look for that soon. It's really great. And I'm going to be recording more episodes soon.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. If you ever need someone, Josh, holler. I'll come up on.
Likewise.
Uh,
Likewise.
Same.
I think all of us
Same.
would
Mhm.
help you out. So
At the same time.
just like this.
It's like
All right, Zeddy. what do you
Psych,
have to
this
talk-
is episode 3.
Yeah. Real quick, I just got a text. I want to say thank you to my coworkers who are actually watching this
oh, heck yeah.
show right now. They took me out for my 3-year anniversary at Athletico. You all are gems. That
Shout out
that dinner was delicious last night. Thank you.
Awesome,
to
brother.
those people.
Yeah, 3 years. I can't believe it. You guys can. So my handles are right there on the screen, but you guys can follow me on Twitter at ZeddyIs. You can follow the comics podcast that I co-host with Nico and his father at Vigilante 1939. We'll be recording an episode. We'll have 2 coming out for you guys next week, so be on the lookout for that. And then Nico and I just recorded a reaction to the blasphemy that was the 93rd Academy Awards over the weekend. So go give that a listen if you should so please. Thank you guys. Love you all.
Nico, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, no, he pretty
happened.
much plugged everything. You could find all my film and TV and comic reviews at www.letsgopodcast.com. I have a video game show with Emmett Davis as well called Let's Go Gamers. We're doing next week. And stay tuned for another show that you've seen us tease a little bit, but we've done a certain show with a certain Robin loving heavy metal drummer named Rob Myers about one of our favorite bands of all time. So that's going to come out pretty soon. So that should be a lot of fun for people. If you're into Kiss, it'll be great. If not, I think you'll still listen and have a ball, because the first episode is like our story of how we got into Kiss and how the three of us became friends through it. So
I wanted the best, baby.
Nice.
And you're going to get the best, brother. You're going to get the best.
All right, Chris, go ahead, man.
You guys can find me on Twitter at thatchris70. I do a lot of comic reviews for the Let's Go podcast, which, like Nico said, letsgopodcast.com. Please also give them a follow on Twitter. I also do, it's becoming a weekly show with Emmett Davis called Let's Go Live, where we just kind of have a casual conversation between friends. Please check that out on Saturday night. That's really all I got.
All right, thank you, Chris. And JJ.
You can follow me Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. More active on Twitter at 4 Comic Junkies. Also, the 4 Comic Junkies podcast, which most of you have been guests. Oh, I take that back. 2 of you have been guests on. One of you's been, and 2 of you have been invited. One of you is about to be invited after this, and I'll let you all sort that out after. But yeah, it's we talk about comics and pop culture and how it affects our daily lives. We're about to start doing. I just finished up Aliens 35th anniversary segments. I did with Emmett Davis. Actually, did a couple of those. Great guy. And next month is cosplay month. So talking to friends of mine who do a lot of cosplay. Looking forward to doing more episodes.
Will you be wearing any cosplay?
Yes, I cosplay as Willow from season 1 of Buffy.
Nice.
I
That
love
I
that.
need to see. I need to see
I'd
that.
like to, I'm waiting to
you
see that
have
one,
to do
JJ.
that. If that was a
Okay.
joke, now you have to commit.
Wow.
If that was a joke, now you have to commit.
Nice.
Well, JJ, yes, you've asked me to do. JJ has asked me actually to do a couple of things that will be coming up soon. One will be about Arrow, the TV show, and the other will be about The Omen, the movie The Omen at around Halloween, because that movie came out the year I was born, and JJ saw that, and he's like, "Oh, Eric, would you do it?" So yes, we're gonna do that on the original Omen, the original movie, not the remake, the original. So, right?
That's some cool synergy. Yeah, that's some cool synergy, because I talked to Bill Raimi about Batman 66, and that was the year he was born. So, oh my gosh, it all
Everything's
adds up.
coming full circle.
And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It all
Yep.
connects.
All right, guys. As you know, you can find me on Twitter at Finally33, spelled Finale33, as you can see on the screen right here. Check out the Straight Outta Gotham Facebook page, the Straight Outta Gotham Facebook group. The group is where we have fun as fans. You guys can come in and we could talk and have all that fun stuff. The show page is just to let you guys know what's going on with the show, to post the podcast and so on and so forth. Make sure you follow us also on Twitter, Pete and I. That's at straight_O_G. Same as on Instagram, and Zack Snyder's favorite Vero. I had to say it. He's not here.
I just noticed you changed that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it's in the.
So, guys, I want to thank you, all of you, again for coming on tonight. I know I threw this together kind of quickly, but you guys are gems and you always seem to pull through when I need you. So thank you all very much. So for Nico, Zeddy, Josh, JJ, and Chris, I'm Eric Holzman. This is SOG Tonight, and we'll see you next time.
We live in a society.
Bye.